Peace, 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 peace. Salute, salute, salute. Peace, peace. We are live, 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 live. We are live. I'm gonna give it a quick second. But we live, we are live, we are live, we are live, we are live. Salute to everybody that tuned in the last episode. Salute to those that are about to tune in right now. If you're joining right now or you join later on and you catch it when it's done, salute. We're gonna give it about another 30 seconds or so. Gonna get to it. A lot of things going on. Some people are aware, some people are not aware, and this is what this is for, to bring awareness to those that are not aware. So while it might be information that people may already know, people already privy to, they may be even more advanced than I am in information. Nevertheless, it is necessary information to pass and to share. And again, whether you believe or you don't, praise God. If you believe, praise God. If you don't, praise God. You have your liberty. I'm just doing my part in sharing and passing on information and presenting my case from what I see as proof and evidence in regards to what I'm speaking on or what I will be speaking on or what I have spoken on already. And it's up to you whether or not to accept it, believe it or not. You have your choice, you have your liberty. All right. We're going to get right into it. Let's talk about agendas. Let's talk about agendas. Let's talk about it. You heard different politicians speaking on agendas, agenda this, agenda that. No one's speaking on these agendas. Agenda 21. Agenda 21 is a comprehensive plan of action to be taken, quote unquote, globally, nationally, locally, by organizations of the United Nations system. The United Nations system. The United Nations system. Right? Let's go on. Governments and major groups in every area in which human impacts on the environment. Agenda 21, the Rio Declaration on Environment and Development, and the Statement of Principles for the Sustainable Management of Forests were adopted by more than 178 governments at the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to 14th of June of 1992. So this plan has been in effect and been presented since the 90s, the early 90s. So we talk about agendas. We talk about agendas and plans that many people don't know are really attached to this overall agenda. Which is why this in particular episode today was called the Order of the New Age, or the New Order of the Ages, which is the New World Order. And with that, they have various plans and agendas. So again, we've heard of different plans and agendas throughout the campaign of both people running for quote unquote president of this country. And that's all smoke and mirrors in comparison to these plans and agendas. Agenda 2030, which is one of the same with Agenda 21, and you're gonna see that as we go on. These are New World Order agendas. The New Order of the Ages, or the New World Order, is about everything being under control, people's lives under control. You're going to see that as the rest of these slides are presented. It's about having control of people's lives, surveillance over people's lives. So, in a place that's supposed to be free, where you have the freedom to express yourself, freedom to do what you want, as long as you're abiding by the law of the land, little by little, you see those freedoms are actually an illusion. And we just witnessed one today, what transpired not too long ago on before even the entering technically of January 19th, January 18th, before midnight, TikTok was shut down. TikTok was shut down, and you have a lot of people that's been affected behind that shutdown. Um, that were making a living off of that app, where they had a bit more of a fair chance of going viral and establishing themselves, or promoting and advertising whatever businesses that people may have had, so forth and so on, communities, gone under the auspices of Americans' data and information being at risk. For anyone that ventured or used the app, you've seen that what's actually going on, you was being made privy to things around the world that you may have not been privy to within our own country. A light being shed on our own country. So, nevertheless, the app is black now, and any other app that I guess was under the same umbrella of TikTok is gone right now. It's gone. It's banned in this country. So a lot of news and information that you would normally get and find out around the world, across the planet, now is gone. All under the guise of, you know, we got to protect citizens and their information and America's information. And that's just not the truth. A lot of truth was being revealed on that app that a lot of people in the United States was not aware of in different parts of the world, particularly the place that is alleged attached to the app, China. So let's get into it. So Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development. 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015, provides a shared blueprint of peace and prosperity for people and the planet. It includes 17 sustainable development goals, which aim to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure peace and prosperity for all. And this would be all under one world government. Agenda 2030 also ties in with the Wildlands Project, which we're going to go through each one by one to show you the details of the agenda of what's already in motion. A lot of this is already in motion, it's happening, and people don't know it. So again, I'm just presenting the information. Don't take my word for it. Please go look it up for yourself. Please go do your own research. Please go search for yourself. Please, I urge you. Please go do it yourself. Go look and check yourself. So they are plans. They are agendas that are in motion. There are plans and agendas that are in motion. And this place is behind it. Now, if you look at the emblem of the United Nations, why is it what is called the flat earth map? Why is it? And I'm sure somebody will go and get the explanation that they give, that they say. And if you want to take that for the end all be all truth, then so be it. But for me, I don't know how anyone, I don't know how anyone could not see that that is just a blatant example of hiding the truth right in your face. Because it is the exact same outline as what is seen as the flat earth map. The exact same thing. So they're behind it. They're um a part of this new system that is being is was being presented to be introduced, but it's already in motion. And 17 steps will go by each one of them, go through each one of them so you can see. First one is supposedly no poverty. Now again, their statement, they said this is for the whole planet. Now, how is this going to be accomplished on the whole planet? How would this be able to be accomplished across the whole planet? This is what was stated. No poverty. This is an artificial kingdom of heaven. That's exactly what it is. It's artificial. It's not real. How long has there been poverty? And now all of a sudden there's going to be a solution for it? Zero hunger, zero hunger, good health and well-being. Why can't that be now? Why can't that be the case right now? Quality education. Teach the truth. Educate humanity, the earth's population, with the truth. Gender equality. So this covers every quote unquote gender. Let that sit for a second. Gender equality. This covers every so called agenda. Every last one of them. Clean water and sanitation. Clean water and sanitation. Why can't this be now? Why couldn't it have been years ago? Why 2030? And so many other plans and agendas that are, well, that share that same date. I jumped the gun a little bit with this one. Hold on a second. But this continues on. 13. I'm gonna get the other one. Uh Pardon me with that. I think I mislabeled something. 13 is climate action. They're always saying there's some issue with the quote unquote climate. Life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, partnerships for the goals. This is all a part of the plan. Now you probably asking like where you going with this, and I don't quite get it. Don't worry. Be patient and we'll get to it. We'll get to it. So I just want to show you that with this slide right here that everything is in progress. Implementation progress. Every year, the UN Secretary General presents an annual SDG progress report, which is developed in cooperation with the UN system and based on the global indicator framework and data produced by national statistical systems and information collected at the regional level. So when you go to the actual site, that's why I left the actual URL so you can see it. Go to the site and you can click on each one of those and get the progress report PDF. So it goes back to 2016, the implementation progress from when it was implemented. So this is already in motion. What is it that's in motion? Salute, 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 salute. What is it is that's in motion? Well, let's keep going. Here's the long one tonight. Let's see, how we gonna get through it, but I have quite a few. So this is all 17. I know I messed up and I jumped from after 5, I jumped to 13, but this is all 17. So to go through it. This is the plans of 2030 for Agenda 2030. So no poverty. Interesting. When you read the scriptures, it tells you by the mouth of the king that you will always have the poor. They will always be poor. Zero hunger. Poor doesn't mean you can't eat. Poor doesn't mean you don't eat or you don't have food. Good health, well-being. Why isn't that accessible now? Why is it that there's only certain countries that have free healthcare, but there's others that don't, like the one that we live in? Quality education. We want the truth. Tell the people the truth. There's so much lies that the truth is actually, as it said, stranger than fiction. The truth makes people get looked at like they are crazy, like they're off their rocker. The truth. The lies, forget about it. Gender equality. So you already know what that's pumping and what that's pushing. There's no need to go deep into that, but that's exactly what this agenda is about. Clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth. Why isn't that so now? Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Reduced inequalities, not doing away altogether with inequalities, but it's going to be reduced. Sustainable cities and communities. Sustainable cities and communities. Say that one again. Sustainable cities and communities, which will get into smart cities. Responsible consumption and production. Responsible consumption and production. Part of this plan is to have you stop the things that are normal to you, diet wise, and be enforced an alternative way, being forced to follow an alternative way of eating and lifestyle of eating. Responsible consumption. And you, for those that think I'm just saying that, just stick around and let's get through it so you can hear for yourself as I read it and you read for yourself from their very own websites. I'm getting this information from their very own website, with the exception of this picture right here that you see has the Shutterstock uh watermark on it because I wanted to use this. Not gonna pay for an actual image of something that's against me. So I, you know, I'll use this picture and you'll be able to still see what are the goals. So responsible consumption and production. That deals with population, production, climate action, life below water, life on land, which deals with the Wildland Project, which it all intertwines with each other, and you'll see, hopefully by the grace of God, you'll see it yourself. Again, what I'm going to be presenting as I continue is coming from their own sight, out their own mouths. So those are the 17 plants. All right, that's good. I'm glad you're here for it. Let's get to it. Let me make some room here. And let's get to the next one. Don't worry, it's still unfolding. Okay. All right. Okay, so we went through that one already. Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. Let me get this out of here. And we continuing on. Hmm. Let me see this one. So the new order of the ages. Okay, no, this is something else. I got a lot. Bear with me. Bear with me. I had a little situation early in getting things together, but for the most part, I have everything in line how it's supposed to be. So let's go through. Let's go through these. Let me see this one real quick. Okay. So this is continuing on with the agenda, with Agenda 2030. Peace, dignity, and equality on a healthy planet was being promoted. And again, just look at the seal, the emblem, the logo of the UN, and ask yourself, why is it the flat Earth map? Why? Why is it that? Okay. For those that doubt it and just need to see it a little bigger, there you have it. Why is it the flat Earth map? Just find that interesting. That's something that should be inquired about. All right. Let's see some things out their own mouth. Let's get to it. So we already seen the names of the agendas. We see it's Agenda 21, which is also Agenda 2030, one of the same. And what correlates with it is the Wildland Project. We're going to get to the Wildland Project in a minute. You heard of these guys before, of this organization? Anyone? Anyone heard of this organization before? If you didn't, I'll introduce you to them tonight as we go through these slides. We bring together government, businesses, and civil society to improve the state of the world. The World Economic Forum. World Economic Forum. Let's go through it. Strategic intelligence from the World Economic Forum. Explore and monitor the issues and forces driving transformational change across economies, industries, and global issues. So these guys are the ones that are constantly pushing that there is a climate crisis. Polar caps are melting, and this is going on, and that is going on. They're also saying that there's a super threat when it comes to cybersecurity. So I just want to remind everybody, which is why you see the reminder there of the order out of chaos. They create problems, they wait for your reaction, and then they present a solution. Hegelian dialectic, as it's called. Right? So this is all the World Economic Forum. This is what they do. Right? All this is for the betterment and the care of the world, for the planet. This guy here. Klaus Schwab, founder and chairman of the board of trustees. Interesting fellow here. Please go look this guy up yourself. Go look at some of the speeches and listen. Listen yourself. Klaus Schwab holds a doctorate in engineering and a doctorate in economics and social sciences from the Swiss Federal Institute, Zurich, and the University of Freiburg, and an MPA from Harvard University. Formerly managed the reconstructing of a leading Swiss machine building group and was professor of business policy in Geneva until 2003. So this guy, just keep reading and you see a quote unquote superb resume. Like this guy basically has all the answers. He has 2 children, 2 grandchildren, very small, right? Klaus Schwab. Please go look him up yourself. Go research these uh these billionaires and multi-millionaires, multi in the hundreds of millions, and billionaires. See what they're about. This one right here, 8 predictions for the world in 2030. Put on your seatbelts. Hold tight for this one. This is an actual commercial that they have out. You can look this commercial up, the World Economic Forum commercial for the 8 predictions for 2030. You can look this up. Please do it. Please, everything that I'm presenting tonight or that I've presented, period, everything that's been presented, please just go check for yourself. This is from their site. Again, the truth is hidden right in plain sight. Everything you need to know is right in your face. All right. So, 8 predictions for the world in 2030. Everything is 2030. Again, anybody wonder why these agendas 2030, Saudi Vision 2030, all these different agendas 2030. Hmm. You'll own nothing and be happy. You will own nothing and be happy. Based on the input of members of the World Economic Forum's Global Future Council. So you have just a sidebar a minute. You have in the Swiss Alps, Davos, where these elite people like Mr. Schwab meet and hold councils and conferences on how to deal with these certain topics across the planet and implement them on people's lives. And they all work together. United Nations, World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, CDC, all these different organs, they all work together. It's one big conspiracy, not a theory. It's one big conspiracy, a conspiring. That's what a conspiracy is, to conspire. There's nothing good in a conspiracy. There's nothing good in conspiring. It's when you look it up, it is malicious. It is malevolent. It is done with evil intent. These are not theories. They're saying you own nothing and be happy. Remember, we was going through the 17 principles of sustainability. Right? Let's go on to the next thing. Please go look it up yourself. They have all this on their site. Look at this. This is what they want for the future. Whatever you want, you'll rent and it'll be delivered by drone. This is where the smart cities come into play. This is all a part of the agendas. Smart cities are designed to keep you within a 15-minute radius of where you reside. You don't need to go anywhere else outside of that 15 minutes. They also call 15-minute cities. You wouldn't want to go or need to go anywhere outside of that 15-minute zone because you'll have everything there. I said in a prior video before, and just in conversation with people, it seems like they've been trying it, the smart cities, in regards to how they would work before actually having the smart technology that's here now. But it seems like they tried it already with places like Co-op City and Starlight City in Brooklyn. um, where everything is right within that area. You don't need to go outside of that area. And for those that's from Co-op City or that or no Co-op City, um, everything is there. You have banks, you have schools, you have a movie theater, you have shopping, malls, supermarkets, everything. You don't need to leave that area if you don't want to. If you don't have to. You don't have to leave. But this is what's gonna be forced on everybody. Smart cities. Did I say forced? Yes, because that's where the Wildland Project comes into play. It's a lot. Let's get through it. We're gonna try to get through as much as we can tonight, if time allows it. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, yeah, that's a fact. That is the truth. Glad you said that. You'll see. Stick around. You'll see. Stick around. Don't forget Maui neither. Don't forget Hawaii. Get to the next point. So you whatever you want, you'll rent, right? Whatever you want, you'll rent. Um, you don't need a house. You don't need the burden of a house and maintaining a yard, and you don't need that. You don't need that. Just get a nice apartment. You don't need so many sneakers, so many shoes. You don't need that. So many pants. You don't need that. You don't need these things. You don't need to eat steak all the time or chicken you don't need that. I'm exaggerating this? Says the US won't be the world's leading superpower. That's something that the US prides itself in and brags about. So now the question is, will the US be playing nice with this agenda? Or are we being tricked all around? Are we being played all around? Right, right. So the US won't be the world's leading superpower. Why is that? Why is that? Let's show you why. A handful of countries will dominate. But if you look closely at uh, uh, some of the countries that's being mentioned, you see the U.S. flag is still there. So they're not completely out of the equation. They're just not going to be the world's leading superpower. That is, they're not going to be that anymore. It's going to be a handful of countries. Basically, all these countries will be under a one world government order, which is the new order of the ages. That's basically what it's saying. United Nations, United Nations, all underneath one banner, one world government, one world religion, one quote unquote God. Let's continue on. So this is all on their site. This is an actual commercial. You won't die waiting for an organ donor. You won't die waiting for an organ. You wanna know why? You wanna know why you won't wait for an organ donor? We won't transplant organs, we'll print new ones instead. This is from the World Economic Forum. This is an actual commercial that I went and got still shots of each, screenshots of each, to present it one by one. Now, if you want to see the full commercial with the music to it, the new age hypnotic music, you can do that and just check out the site and look up the individual. This guy right here. Look him up. So you won't wait for an organ donor. Why? Because a new one will be printed. Playing the creator. Playing the part of the creator. Hmm. What else? You eat much less meat. You're not going to eat meat like you used to eat meat, is what they're telling you. You're not going to eat meat like you're used to. Yeah. Genetically modified organs for real. You'll eat less meat. So, a controlling of what it is that you consume. Remember, that's part of the 17 principles. Consumption. Consumption. What you consume, what you eat. An occasional treat, not a staple, for the good of the environment and our health. That's why they said you'll eat less meat. Because it's good for the environment. You don't want to mess up the environment, don't you? As crazy as it sounds, it's a cult. It's a cult. And they're pushing a cult ideology and indoctrination under the idea of safety and peace and no more hunger and no more this and no more that and everything peace and bliss. And that is the order, the new order of the age, the new world order. What else they have in mind? I'm gonna go through it and show the correlation of these organizations. This one is very interesting. I found this one interesting. It's funny. 1 billion people will be displaced by climate change. That's a big definitive number. These people are saying for certain that 1 billion people will be this. Do you know what 1 billion people is? 1 billion people will be displaced without a place to live. Refugees because of climate change. That's what they're saying. So we'll have to do a better job at welcoming and integrating refugees. Forced to become migrants, forced to become immigrants. These people are saying there's going to be 1 billion humans, wherever they are, that's going to be displaced on this planet because of quote unquote climate change. This guy. Right? It's crazy stuff, man. This is all from them. This is again, I'm just presenting the information, the evidence. That's what I'm doing. If you believe it, praise God. If you don't, praise God. You got your liberty. But to not believe this is just crazy to me when you seeing it for yourself. I didn't doctor this. I didn't go and put their logo or watermark on this or take my time to type this stuff. This is from them. Polluters will have to pay to emit carbon dioxide. So it's 8 things. Let me finish it off. Let me finish it off. Yeah. Guys, it's all tied in together. So they said like, comment, share, and that's their website. That's the official website. That's the official website. That's from them. You can go to their site yourself and see it yourself. There's an actual commercial. Actual commercial. You will own nothing and be happy. So control, surveillance. It's already in effect. It's already been implemented. You've seen it with the implementation progress. So now understand what this project is about. Name change, as it tells you, the Wildlands Network, formerly known as Wildlands Project, was created in 1991 to stem the tide of species extinctions that was being recorded across North America. Evidence that such extinctions were often exacerbated by a lack of habitat connectivity between existing protected areas, resulted in the organization adoption of a primary mission focused on scientific and strategic support for creation of networks of people protecting networks of connected wildlands. All that to say, basically, that they want they want basically a majority of the country to be given up for wildlife. And that's where, again, the smart cities come into play. That's part of the agenda. And this is their site. This is the actual site. Go to the site and you can see what it's about. Wildlands Network is working to connect, restore, and protect wildlands across the continent for nature and wildlife to thrive. So basically, areas of this country that would be off limits because it's only going to be reserved for wildlife. And people will be removed from those areas and placed into smart cities. You can see from the site yourself. So you can't have land. You can't have your own land. That's not part of the new order of the ages. You can't have your own land. So this is a little clearer. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And that's where the smart cities come into play. That's where it comes into play. We're going to get to it. Let's get to the smart cities. But before we go there, but you know what? I might save that for next week. Let's get to the smart cities. Let's get to it. Let's see what my brother said. Yeah. Yeah. Um, well, that's once from that movie, once that outbreak started and you had these quote unquote zombies or whatever that only came out at night, these vampire zombies or what have you, that only came out at night, um, without no human presence in uh in the daytime, the animals come out. And we got a glimpse of that during the quote unquote pandemic time with the lockdowns. and people, being inside, started to see a lot of wildlife come out, even in the urban areas, into city areas. So a lot of wildlife coming out. So let's get to these smart cities. What are these smart cities? They're being advertised as, um, like I said, this is a false kingdom of heaven, and all these smart cities fall underneath this whole umbrella with Agenda 2030, and their plans and their principles and things of that nature that's laid out. Smart city has everything, everything. You don't have to leave the city. Everything is right there for you. And as you seen from the World Economic Forum, that things will be flown into you from drones. You don't need to go nowhere. Just sit tight. We're going to fly it into you. Everything, food, clothing, everything. But you're not going to have anything. Like I said, you'll own nothing and be happy. These are cities where you can't have a car, especially a quote unquote car with uh fuel emissions. You ain't gonna have that. It's gotta be electric. And some of these cities are super advanced and intricate, which we're gonna get into. So this is already one that's being advertised within this country right now. Everything is underneath this sustainable, equitable vibe. When you see this, just think of Hunger Games and districts. Let's go through it. So you can look up this place right now. This it's in effect. It's happening right now in the United States, being built, being worked on. They have land right now and searching for more areas to develop. Searching for more. To create a new city in America that sets a global standard for urban living, expands, and becomes a blueprint for future generations. Hmm. Imagine a city where community, jobs, mobility, environment. So that's the pitch. You have this community, all loving, we're all together, we're all one. We have equality with everything, with jobs, mobility. Your transportation is so close, you don't have to go far for nothing. You don't need a car. The environment, how it's clean and sustainable, and this is the pitch. But you're gonna actually be forced into it. If your land is in the zone and in the route of what is supposed to be for the wild. So imagine a city where you always feel safe and welcome and included. You live where you work. Getting around day to day is convenient and accessible. You are always connected to nature. And it's kinda like the same speech all across the board with other smart cities. There's too much information to go through tonight, so, there will be a part 2 to this by the grace of God next week. What is it like to live in Tolosa? Let's see. They're advertising it. Please go look it up. This is not science fiction. This is real. I'll give you the name of the place again. Please go research it. So this is what's being advertised of what it's gonna be, what this city is gonna be like. Look at everybody. Just look, take a glance at everybody. See all color of people there, all kind of different ethnic groups, everybody. Look at it. It's so clean, it's spotless, it's green, it's trees, concrete and everything there as well, but there's a lot of trees and everything is like living in a park. And then you see the diversity in the people. One world government, one world religion. All of these places, all of these places, they all abide by those sustainability rules, by those sustainability principles, which we see where it comes from. It comes from the United Nations. It comes from the World Economic Forum. It's all together. What did the World Economic Forum say? You don't need to go nowhere. We'll drone it to you. Look at the drone in the sky. And again, look at the diversity of people. Look at the different ethnic groups. And no doubt this is apparently is AI generated. No doubt about it. Because the building of this city is not completed yet. It's not completed yet. So this is definitely AI generated. But painting the picture of what life is going to be like when it's built. This is according to the plan that they have. According to the plans that they have. And they all, again, they all abide underneath. They all abide underneath those sustainability laws. So they're currently scouting, as you see, within the United States. Anywhere from 30,000 acres to 150,000 acres that can fit 1 million to 5 million people. Vibrant 33, that number, people per acre. People an acre. Yep. This is actually something that is being constructed or that's in the works of being constructed. It's set to be constructed. It's in motion. within the US, and it's not the only one. All this is a part of the sustainability principles that you see come from the UN. And this is from the actual site of this one in particular. I'm not singling it out, but there's others. A city for everyone. And I'm sure that symbol means something. I'm sure it means something. Because it's not there for no reason. There's a city for everyone. One might say it could be an eye because of the diamond shape. But again, that's subjective unless you know for sure what it means. So check this out. Right in line with the UN and the World Economic Forum. Imagine a sustainable city where fresh water is stored, cleaned, and reused on site. Renewable resources power the city. Autonomous cars create safe, flexible streetscapes. Autonomous cars. This is real. This is real, people. It's really happening. And it's not the only one. Citizens are provided with honest and clear financials. The environment is always a priority. Citizens are informed and politicians are accountable. All meetings, calls, and correspondence with city officials will be part of the public record. So again, this is all from that site. Diverse housing options are accessible to all. Nature and safe public spaces bring people together. People easily access needs within a 15-minute commute. Smart city, 15-minute city, as they call. This ain't again. This is not a personal attack towards this particular one that's being built. All of them. This is what's gonna be the new norm. People concentrated in one area to be watched, monitored, surveillance. You'll own nothing and be happy. It's out their own mouth. At this point, with this stuff that's being presented tonight, this is not even something you got to really think about. But still, don't take my word for it. Please go look for yourself. Imagine living in a city when an economic system in which citizens have a stake in the land. As the city does better, the residents do better. We call this equitism. This is some new ism added to the many isms in life. Equitism. I don't want to drag out this one. I'm gonna check one more with this one, and then I'm gonna go into another one. So this is the billionaire behind the program. Yep. Let's see. We're gonna do some more smart city. See where we at with it. So this is more stuff that they advertising for uh, the benefits of being in this city. And again, go check the site for yourself. Please check it out and see for yourself. So this stuff is already in motion. 10 U.S. cities ready for a smart city future. Already in motion. Places already doing it. So this is about the CEO that I showed prior, an article written about him in Newsweek. Billionaires that billionaires are evil. They have all this money and they're bored uh with life, and they just damn want to do things, make things up, invent things, implement things. Take away people's freedoms based on their understanding as a person that is a billionaire. I say that confidently. The love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. To be for a person to be successful, but to continue to chase after that success nonstop, where that is your quote unquote religion, all you doing is chasing after money, chasing after a bag, that means you'll do anything to get that money, to get that bag. That's why it's the root of all evil, the love of it. That people love money so much they'll do anything to get it. So the more you love money, the more you go after getting it, and the more you increasing it. And this is how you have these multimillionaires and billionaires and so forth and so on. And the level of evil increase. It gets higher. Are you hating because you ain't got that money? They got a general plan for Maui 2030. Again, You can't like, this can't be made up. The truth is definitely stranger than fiction. General plan for Maui. I have a PDF for this also, if anybody was interested in it. Yeah, that's a fact. This is from their news. This is from the news. Unlocking our potential, transforming Honolulu into a smart city. You see when it was posted. It's all over. Something that they're doing. Smart cities. This is everywhere. They already have proposed uh what was been mentioned of proposed 10 possible uh locations in the US for smart cities. Billionaire backers of New California City seek voter approval after stealthily snapping up farmland. Mm. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a part two. Billionaire backers of New California City reveal map and details of proposed development. San Francisco. This is Associated Press. Company backed by Silicon Valley billionaires that stealthily snapped up more than $800 million worth of rural land for what it has said will be a new utopian green city between between San Francisco and Sacramento is now taking the pitch to voters. Green utopian. That's these smart cities. That's these smart cities. Wildland Project. Remove people from their lands, from their property, and be placed in these smart cities. You own nothing and be happy. So we see more and more hints. Just look at the date, May 19th, 2024. You see more hints of California billionaires trying to create a new city, a new California city. A new California city. City of Los Angeles, Smart LA 2028, technology for a better Los Angeles. I have the PDF. if anyone is interested. GodTimeForever@gmail.com. The whole pamphlet, a whole plan layout of this thing already. So they can say whatever they want. They're gonna say it's not true, and the people will believe it. It's no different from like Rodney King. They was beating this man, and they had the audacity to tell people it's not what it looked like. It is not what it looks like. Not what's going on here. I can explain. Let me explain. Bust in the room and catch your spouse doing something with somebody else. It's not what it looks like while there's action. Not what it looks like. How long will the people continue to stay asleep? How long will the people continue to stay being played, being lied to? So now we see what becomes of this area with what just transpired over there with those fires. Let's see what happens. 2025. There's a lot more, but again, keeping to the time, hour and a half. Um, I will be back, God willing, next week to continue with more smart cities and some other information. Um, of a smart city that is a serious one, and I'm gonna leave you with a preview of it, and you can, check it out yourself. But I have some information in regards to it to show you there's something far deeper going on with these plans and with these agendas. Again, if you believe, praise God. If you don't, praise God, you have your liberty. But when we come back, um, we come back next week by the grace of God. Next one that I'll be going into, and I have a couple more, but the next one I'll be going into is this place. That's the next one I'll be going into. And you know, once the information is shared, I would urge you and behoove you to please go look into it yourself. Go check yourself. Don't take my word for it. But this is the next place that I'll be talking about by the grace of God next week with some more information um in regards to the new order of the ages. Those that tuned in, I appreciate you. Salute. And God willing, we'll be back next week with another one. Stay tuned. If you're watching for the first time, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, follow, like, comment, share it. Share the content. I appreciate you. Peace.